your real estate advisor, David Singh, reporting to you from Newport Beach, California, and I'm very excited about the awesome presentation that we have for everyone tonight. I know a lot of you will enjoy learning about the fast-growing market in Lehigh Acres, Florida. And I see a lot of familiar faces and names on the webinar tonight, and a lot of new people as well. So for many of our network members who've had the chance to meet Terry and Ken Duffy at one of our events here, I know that you know that tonight they'll have a great presentation for you guys, and they've been a blast to work with. Terry and Ken, they've been working here with the network for over 10 years now, and they continue to do a fantastic job for finding our network members exceptional property and really helping them through the process. When investing in real estate, the most important factor when investing is obviously the team that you're working with. And Terry and Ken, I mean, they've been absolutely amazing, and they've been an extremely important asset to the Marshall Reddick team here. And Terry and Ken, I mean, they're extremely knowledgeable about the Lehigh Acres market. They work very hard to ensure that our network members have a great experience when working with them. And I mean, these guys work the clock. I mean, as you know, they're on the East Coast time, so right now it's 9:40 for them. So they're constantly working around the clock. Terry's emailing me at 10 o'clock at night our time. So I mean, they do a fantastic job, and they're very good at communicating. During this webinar, definitely feel free to ask any questions under the questions tab. It's right on the right side of your dash, and I'll be answering questions throughout the webinar, and at the end we'll have some question and answer time for Terry and Ken to go through some of the specific questions on the Lehigh Acre market that you guys have. But without any further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to the amazing Lehigh Acres, Florida team, Ken and Terry Duffy.
Well, thanks, Dave. Thanks for blowing us up like that. We take compliments real well. So, just a word. We had a great time with you guys out there when we came out to California not too long ago and got to meet some of the people out there. It was an awesome time. So,
looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We enjoyed having you guys out here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So. Well, we're just, for all you guys that are listening, we just want to take the time and say thanks for taking your time to listen about the great, opportunity we have down here. My wife and I have been living down here since 2000, so we've seen the ebbs and the flows with the market, and things are really in a great position to get in at this time. We've got a lot of great properties. We have some properties that we're offering tonight that are they're phenomenal. They're well put together packages. So our goal tonight for you guys out there listening is to just give you guys a brief overview on Florida. I'm sure you all know where it's at, but we're on the West Coast. We're about 2 hours south of Tampa on the quiet side. So it's real nice down over here. It's a great place to raise a family. So if you get a chance, Google us on the map, go on Google Earth, and you can pull up Lehigh Acres, and you can get a really good global view of it. It's a great community. It's a bedroom community to Fort Myers, and we'll go through the PowerPoint. And our job tonight is to educate you guys on our area. And if you guys have questions, concerns, you see the properties, you guys want to jump on them, you just give us a holler, get a hold of David, and we'll make things happen. So with that, I'm gonna talk a little bit about different things. Terry will jump in every now and then. So I'm going to move on to the next slide in our presentation, and it's just a little outline. We got a little nice shot there. The sunsets down here are awesome. You're going to meet the team, us, Terry and I. Terry's the backbone of the team. She's the one that really makes things happen. So I'm kind of I'm the behind-the-scenes guy. I do all the heavy lifting, but she does all the seriously heavy lifting with communications to our buyers and everything that's involved in a smooth, seamless transaction. So we'll touch base on Fort Myers, Lehigh Acres specifically. We'll go over the economics, the driving engine down here that's just exploding. Within the last year and a half, we've just seen our area just ignite with activity, construction. Builders are moving back into the area. They're building speculative homes. The inventory's coming off the market. A lot of foreclosures are coming back up, and that's where we kind of nestled into a little niche that we have, where we're picking up these distressed properties, we're getting in there, we're rehabbing them, turning them into phenomenal investments for the Marshall Reddick network, and that's kind of how we put things together. So we'll touch base on the quality of life, Southwest Florida, our market with regards to real estate and the economy, what's kind of driving our economy down here, and our job market, and then obviously towards the tail end we'll have our available properties for you guys to look at. So, well, this is us. That guy on the right's got a lot more gray hair now, but my wife looks as beautiful as ever. So that's what we look like now. So our focus as agents has always been and always will be to build great relationships and solid relationships with you guys. We want to fulfill all your investment needs. We want to, more importantly, answer all your questions so that you guys are educated in making the right decision for your investment down here. So like David had said, we'd worked with Marshall Reddick since '04, and we've been agents since 2003. So we reside in Florida since 2000. Lehigh Acres. So this is a little bit of the demographics. It's a diverse community of approximately 86,000 residents, and that has grown quite a bit. It's just 12 miles east of Fort Myers. Lehigh Acres boasts a ton of ponds, lakes, and canals. The entire community is 115 square miles, and within that 115 square miles there are individual residential quarter-acre lots in the numbers of about 125,000. So when the community is built out, that's what the population will be. With 175 miles of canals, drainage canals, lakes, freshwater lakes. It's a great place for fishing. It's got a lot of golf courses out there. There's 5 public golf courses out there. So fishing, is a good thing out there. We got a lot of parks, lakes, tennis, and just a lot of things to do out there. So it's a great community to invest in and live in. And it's very laid back. It's a quiet community out there. So a little bit on the lifestyle. Lehigh Acres is tucked away from the bustle of large cities. It's a peaceful, affordable alternative to the more well-known destinations in Florida. We're not the Miami, we're not the Tampa, we're just quiet Southwest Florida. So a lot of things are happening down here, and we're growing in leaps and bounds. We're located about 50 miles, or it is located about 50 miles east of Fort Myers and Sanibel. Now those are the barrier islands that are about 45-minute ride from Lehigh Acres to some of the greatest beaches out on Captiva. Captiva is well known for shells, for collecting shells. So some of those names you can Google them. You can check them out on the internet. Sanibel Island.
Travel channels.
Yeah.
Best beaches.
Yeah, they're Sanibel and Captiva are rated in the top 10. Actually, I think they were number 2 in the top 10 beaches in the world. So it's a great location. The community offers easy access to an international airport, which is newer. I'd say it's about 5 years old, but it's growing in leaps and bounds. The beaches and just a series, just a myriad of attractions that are also down here. So these are just some of the pictures of the area. Fort Myers Beach in the upper left. That's just a typical photo that I went down and took a picture with my camera. You've got the Edison Ford Summer Home Community. Edison used to live down here, Thomas Edison, so he's got a lot of roots in this area, so there's a lot of things to see, number one being his house that you see in the upper right, and then you've got thousands of marinas that just dot the area all up and down the coast, and then obviously Sanibel. Those are not enhanced pictures of the beaches or the water by any means, so we encourage you guys to come on down and pay us a visit. We'll take you around and show you what's going on so you guys get real comfortable with your investment choices. So the waters are beautiful. That's my daughter up there in the upper right-hand corner. Years ago, and she was always loved to be at the beach, put her toes in the sand. So the lifestyle is real good down here, and that's why a lot of people move down here and vacation down here. We have snowbird season that starts in right around November, and our population in Lee County, when we're out of season, is usually right around 560,000 full-time residents, and usually right after Thanksgiving is when all the northerners come down to get away from the cold weather, and the population swells to about 1 million probably in about 1.4 million. So the roads really get loaded up, and everybody's down here just generating the economy, just pouring money into our economy. And a lot of people come down here and they look for investments because they like it so much they want to make a second home or buy an investment home. So Florida lifestyle just goes on and on. The picture on the right you're going to see is Fort Myers Beach. It's quite a few miles, about 28 miles of just white sand beaches, and that's kind of what really is the backbone of the economy is our beaches, our estuaries. Water sports are just huge down here. You can kayak, you can do everything that you want to possibly do on the beach or on the water down here in Southwest Florida. So it really truly is a statement when we say we owe everything to our warm Gulf waters, because it just creates an economy driven around the water. So none of which would be possible without it. And that's what kind of brings us full circle with nature. So down here in Florida, where we live, we've got some major outdoor malls. Miramar Outlets is a huge outlet mall, which is anchored right at the interstate I-75. It's about 25 minutes from Lehigh. It's got over 250 shops. It's an open walking mall. It's just phenomenal. So that's a big draw. And then within the last 3 years, they built Coconut Point Mall, which is the one upper right, and that one is right across the street from where we live, which is also about a half an hour from Lehigh, and that's got, I think, 120 stores in it, and it's got 5 or 6 anchors, big anchor stores. So there's restaurants constantly opening up, and the entire mall is a walking mall as well outside, so it's real nice. And then the most recent mall that just opened up, I'd say probably about
it's probably 3 years ago.
3 years ago is Gulf Coast Town Center, which is another one. It's built on 175 acres. It's close to the college. Yeah, it's close to FGCU College. So you've got a lot of youth, a lot of jobs, a lot of places to go eat, see movies, and just everything. It's just when we see these big mall groups like Simon Malls, they come down and they put huge amounts of money into our area. We know that we're heading in the right direction, because if they're willing to invest that kind of money, into our local economy, they know that the houses are coming, or the population growth is going to sustain the viability of those malls. So
in the past 7 months, they've opened up 8 new restaurants just in that Gulf Coast Center.
Yeah, so things are they're always moving forward. Terry and I, we kid each other. We know that everything's coming full circle, because we can tell that the dump trucks are everywhere. The construction trucks are everywhere. The rental market is just thriving crazy, because the builders, I talk to builders all the time, and they're looking for qualified workers now. So a lot of the workers are moving back from Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. When the boom kind of leveled out, everybody left the state, and now they're all starting to come back, and we can see it. We talked to Julie at the rental company, and she just said everything's just very, very strong and steady. So just a lot of things happening. This ballpark is a massive ballpark, and this is about 15 minutes, not even 15, probably I'd say as the crow flies, maybe 8 miles from Lehigh Acres. And the Red Sox came down, and they wanted to build a brand new ball field for their training facility. There's 6 teams, as you can see on the top above the stadium, and the 3 below. Those spring training teams are all within an hour drive of the Fort Myers area. You got the Rays, the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, this is their training camp, and if you're a big baseball fan, this one here, the stadium mimics the one up in Boston, the Green Monster. So it's a great facility. I think they spent, I think it was about $400 million on the stadium, and they built some auxiliary stadiums around. So there's hotels and everything that are starting to pop up around it. And the economy really, when spring training comes down, the place just gets inundated with fans that come into the area. So last year they said there was $4 million that were just pumped into the local revenue by spring trainer people coming down. So it's another good indicator of where our economy's going. So, and it was a good sign when they put this ballpark out there. And if you guys come down and check out the area, we'll drive by it. It's truly an amazing facility. So we're glad to have it. Let's talk a little bit about the airport. You got one picture here on the left. It's the two black lines that you see running across the photo, that's Interstate I-75, and that's obviously the main drag that runs north and south from Tampa through Fort Myers and Naples, and then takes you all the way to Miami. So the airport has seen such an increase in volume with not only flights but traffic. They had to build a huge interchange for I-75 because the local roads would not handle the increased traffic going to the airport. So since then, and that picture literally is about 5 months old. They're finally now just finishing off the interstate to get the connection from the interstate to the airport. And recently, the Lee County Port Authority, they just secured a grant from the federal government to build a control tower. So once they build a new control tower, they're going to put another north-south runway in, which is going to cause for a huge expansion onto the airport. And the reason we need that expansion is because we've got a lot of Europeans that come over here from Germany and Italy, and just, you know, they love the West Coast because it's a real nice place to come and visit. So they're, you know, in season you get nonstop flights from Düsseldorf, Germany, and other parts of England and stuff like that. So the aviation industry is really cranking up, and it has been for the last 5 to 6 years. Southwest Florida International Airport ranked #1 in the top 50 airports in the U.S. located in Fort Myers. So the airport itself, it actually wasn't an expansion. They took they took the old Fort Myers Airport, and they literally knocked it down when they built this new $438 million expansion in 2005. And they're looking to add another phase onto the airport once they get the 5th runway and the control tower. And so, like I said, that's just another thing that helps drive the economy down here, the jobs and airlines and, you know, housing and the whole show. So, and this is just another photo I had taken of the construction that's going on for the interstate, the interchange. So. Let's talk a little bit about the Lee County, Florida, our economic engine. Tourism is obviously the major player in our area. The growth that we see in Southwest Florida is due directly on tourism. It's pretty much year-round, although we do have a heavy influx of our snowbirds. But year after year, millions of the tourists, you know, flock to our shores because our beaches are unlike that of Miami and Fort Lauderdale on the other side. If you've been over in those beaches, you know that the beaches aren't white. You know, they're kind of like a regular sand color, but these are white sandy beaches that we have over here, and that's kind of what makes our side unique. Healthcare technologies are just they're huge. A lot of people are moving to the Southwest Florida area. Baby boomers are coming down here in droves, and there's been a lot of surveys that they've looked at that a large percentage of the baby boomers are moving to the south of the I-4 corridor, which I-4 is a major interstate that cuts Florida in half. So there's constant needs for hospitals, nursings. They're building 2 hospitals right now, one in North Naples, and then they're looking to put another one in Lee County because of just the population growth that's just, you know, has just been taken off here in the last 2 years. We've seen it just really start to escalate. The aviation industry, obviously, there's so many support buildings, so many support industries that have to support the airport, and they're looking at bringing in some other carriers. Once the airport goes through another expansion, they're trying to alleviate some of the freight that gets flown into Miami, being FedEx, UPS, all those aviation industry is looking to move over, so they start landing more planes over here. So instead of flying, you know, planes into Miami International or Hollywood, they can fly them into Southwest Florida instead of having to land in Miami and truck all the freight across Alligator Alley. So the aviation there's just a lot of stuff going on around the airport. When you come down, you could just sit back and you'll know what I'm talking about. And then obviously various Major League Baseball training camps. There was 6 of them. Hotels, hospitality, that's year-round, and that's a necessity. You know, people in Europe, they come over here when our snowbirds leave, you know, when they go up north. So there's just a constant influx of people coming into the area. So new construction, we're seeing it now. A lot of the big home builders are here. They're already here. They're putting up spec homes. They're putting up speculative communities. And obviously, when those homes go up and those communities go up, then the shopping center's got to support it. So just another thing to add to good, solid growth. Here's another big one. We found out last year that Hertz is relocating all of their entire global headquarters, which was up in, I believe, Passaic, New Jersey. It's the numbers have grown. They were going to bring about 700 jobs into the area, but now it's grown to about 1,400 because a lot of their people that they thought were going to move down to Florida from their Jersey location obviously decided not to, or for whatever reasons wanted to stay up in the area due to family or whatever. But this is a brand new facility that's going up right now. It's a huge steel frame building. It's about probably 35 minutes from Lehigh. Just the amount of jobs that are going to come in with this one, major top 500 Fortune, company is going to be massive. So that's really a huge shot to the economy for Lee County, and the Lee County Economic Development Group. They really worked hard to give these guys a great incentive package to have them move this facility here. They're building a 250,000 square foot building on a 75-acre campus, and on that campus, Hertz is going to be all-inclusive. They're going to have their own daycare, their own gymnasium, kind of a one-stop shopping. So if you work there, you'll be able to go to the doctor there. So it's kind of the state-of-the-art facility that they're building. And this is a photo that I took a couple of days ago, so you can see part of the steel frame building going up. Coconut Point, that's one of those shopping malls that I told you about there, Coconut Point Mall. That was in one of the other slides previously. So that whole Coconut Point Mall is massive. It probably runs the length of 41, probably 4 or 5 miles. So it's all the land that Simon Group owns as a developer, and they're just going to continue to grow. Most of the colleges we have in our area, they've exploded as well. We've got Hodges University, we've got Southwest Florida College, Edison College, Florida Gulf Coast. There's all kinds of other smaller ones that are now coming into play, like Kaiser. So there's a lot of opportunity for education for the younger people and for people looking to restart their careers in a different field. So well-grounded with education down here in the Southwest Florida area. Out here in Lehigh Acres, they've in the past probably 5 years, they've built 3 new schools, and this is just one of them. This is Harns Marsh Elementary. We were out here with an investor not too long ago, and we drove by, and they built an elementary and a middle school right next to each other. Lee County is in the process of acquiring land to build 2 new high schools. They need one down in South Lee County, and they're, I believe, going to be putting another one up in Lehigh Acres. It's just because of the amount of families that are moving into the area. So this particular elementary school is about 2 years old. Southwest Florida real estate market. So Lee County real estate overall has seen a year-over-year increase in sales price of 10.6. We don't make these numbers up. These are direct numbers that we get from the Fort Myers Board of Realtors, and that number comes from sales that they have tracked on closing, properties that have closed. So if you're good on pie charts, I don't like to bore people or put them to sleep with charts, but obviously you can see in 2008 when we hit the bottom, we kind of trickled along. 2011 now, and then 12, we're starting to see things ascend in an upward direction in price, price point. So in 2013, we're up in the 80s. So it's even gone higher from that now. The 80 is probably very conservative on the price point for homes. So, and this is specifically talking to Lehigh Acres. Most of the data that we put in our presentation was for Lehigh because that's the area that we represent. This is the median sales price chart. Just really the only thing that grabs me in this chart is that obviously things are trending in an upward direction for 2014 to the far right, and it's obviously it's off of Truilla. So all this information is available to you guys. Dig it up. And what we really kind of like to look at is the 4 bedrooms are really spiking in an upward direction, and that's truly, I believe, it's indicative of the families that need bigger houses, or they need that 4th bedroom to either turn it into an office or just for storage, or they need that 4th bedroom. So the 4th bedrooms are on the rise, and that's I believe that's a chart just looking at the last 5-year window. So this is the Lee County market report. I pull this off every single month, and I kind of look at the numbers, and I send it to the Marshall Reddick guys out there in California and just let them know what's going on. It's kind of like taking the pulse of what's going on down here. Not to kind of get crazy with all the numbers, but I like to look at the median sale price, which is kind of center of the page top, and we look at the single-family price a year ago. It was at $163,000, and it's jumped up just a little bit, real nice, to $179,900. So what we're seeing is a 10.4% increase. When I see green, it means it's good. Everything's moving up, and it's not crazy. It's just steady, a steady climb, which is really good. The other thing that I really like to look at too, which as realtors we look at, is months of supply, which is the box right below it. It's supply of inventory. So right now, as of July in 2014, we have a 4.9 or roughly 5 months worth of inventory. So if we were to continue to sell homes at, if you look in the upper left, you got closed sales for the year, 1,042 homes. So if we were on pace of just selling 1,042 homes, we would be out of inventory in 5 months. So obviously it dipped a little bit from a year ago, but it's still we're at that 5 or 6 month. Yeah, it's a steady movement, and what that number really is it's a lot of the foreclosures that are coming into play, and those are the houses that are moving. And I truly know and believe that as soon as we get through that inventory, that's why the builders are all showing up now, and they're starting to build their spec homes. You come out to Lehigh, you go down the main drag on Lee Boulevard, they're starting to scrape land and starting to put speculative model centers up like they did back in in the day when things were running crazy, and they're starting to set up shop now. So they're watching this just like everybody else is. So those are just kind of some of the numbers, and we have an economic packet that David can get to you that has a lot of other data in there to crunch numbers and really get the answers that you need to make an educated investment for you guys. Pending sales is obviously all the way up upper right hand corner where it says new pending sales. So as a year ago today, they're still climbing in an upward direction. So we like the numbers that we see, and this, like I said, this chart we pull up every single month. So August hasn't come out yet. This is kind of a look at the peninsula. So the red dot indicates where Lehigh Acres is. Obviously, you got that orange line that goes across the bottom of the state. That's the infamous Alligator Alley, and that's where we're at. We're at Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Lehigh Acres. Just above us is Port Charlotte, and then obviously to the upper left you can see Tampa, and then directly across from us in Lehigh you have Miami. So that's kind of where we are. We're on the west coast. We're on the quiet coast, we like to say. This is kind of a little blown up view of Lehigh Acres. As you can see, you got Fort Myers and downtown. There's a lot of high-rises and condos and a lot of revitalization going on in Fort Myers. They just released yesterday down here in the local news they're going to build, I think, 2 or 3 25-story towers down in Fort Myers, and the developers are real excited about that because the inventory's gone low, and they're starting to build speculatively, putting 2 to 3 big buildings up. So the population in Lehigh as of 2013 was 86,784, and obviously we see it was 180% growth since the year 2000. So things are continuing to move in a good direction. The average household income was between 37 and 52,000, and then some of the stats that we pulled, hey, who lives out in Lehigh? So 29% of the workforce out there was sales, worked in the sales field, 17 in construction, 11 in manufacturing. I would venture to say that 17% is probably going to be going up quite a bit with the construction coming back to our local area. These are just some shots that I took to give you guys a little view of what downtown Fort Myers looks like. You got High Point Towers. Those buildings were put up in the last 3 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. Then you got downtown Fort Myers on the upper right. They came through and did a historical downtown revitalization. It was a 3-year project, which was a mess, but it paid off because they came in and just, they gutted everything. All the roads were redone over. They red brick now, so you got all kinds of bistros and coffee shops, and it's really revitalized the downtown area. And what they've done is they've come in and restored all the historic buildings back to their original, or close to their original design, which is really nice. And then obviously all of Fort Myers, the downtown Fort Myers area, is all on the waterfront. So the lower right-hand picture there, they have a big arts festival every year. There's just so many different festivals that they have down on the water, which is great for our families and the area. Fort Myers rental market. So we're swinging into the rental market, which has been really strong. It ranks 5th in the U.S. along with 5 other Florida cities, ranking in the top 10. So Fort Myers is really strong. We have a management company that Terry will talk a little bit here. I'll probably be bouncing off here in a few more slides, and then Terry's going to touch base on some of the things with regards to the rental market. Real strong. Everything's looking real good. The best markets to invest, obviously, in rental property places: Daytona Beach, Fort Myers made the map, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Tampa. So there's a lot of Florida properties, Florida cities that are in there, and that obviously was on GlobeStreet.com. So, and that's a typical house you're going to see out in Lehigh there on the right-hand side. It's a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, probably 1,500 square foot home. They got a lot of tall pine trees out there, so it's kind of got a real nice country feel to it. So. Lehigh rental market. Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Lehigh Acres, and the surrounding area have seen more and more investors purchasing homes for great prices and then turning around and renting them out. Well, that's us, right? That's what we do. That's what you guys do, and that's it. Right there in a nutshell. Many families were forced to walk away from their homes over the last few years during the crash, and that created a whole new market for homes to be rented and for people that lost their homes and couldn't afford their mortgages to go into rental properties. So property management has obviously never been more important than it is now, and that was from the National Association of Realtors, that quote. So I'm going to let Terry kind of walk into this one. This is Market America Rentals. This is the company that we have in place for the Marshall Reddick Network. These people are soup to nuts on top of everything. They're so squared away. They're a great company. They're very strong in the rental market. This is their main office out in Lehigh Acres. They've set up camp out there, been out there for, 5 or 6 years. So that's what the building looks like if you come out there and visit. I'll let Terry take over here. She can talk about Julia, and she's our contact for the Marshall Reddick, and she's our contact out here with the rental company.
We started working with Julia back in 2004, originally when we got hooked up with the Marshall Reddick people. So we've known her for a long time. Very sweet person, but real good business girl, very accessible. She answers all her phone calls. She answers all her emails within a short amount of time. She doesn't leave you hanging. She's directly in charge of the entire property management company. There are a couple other girls, obviously. They have two different offices, so she has another manager, Margie, that runs the Lehigh office, is always hands-on, and then there's Dawn, who's involved also with the team. So a lot of people involved, but Julie's the one that sets up your contract with you, all the paperwork when you get close to closing on a deal, and make sure that everything's put together properly, and make sure that you get paid on everything every month. And so she's also something, if there's any problems, she's on top of it as far as getting anything fixed or repaired or replaced that needs to be done also. So just a really good group to work with all of them. And they have everything set up where we have a lot of special deals that the Marshall Reddick investors get as far as discounts when you go into the property management, which those of you, when you purchase your home, you'll find out all about those. But she's just great to work with, so you'll love doing that. With the reduced rates and everything like that. So she's been doing it for a long time. She's on top of everything. She keeps tracks the vacancy rates. So if it's time for an increase in your rents, they go up. She has a good screening process for the tenants that she puts into your buildings, so everything's taken care of. And she actually has an online website where you can go on and you can pull up your own account, and you can manage it along with her, so you can see everything that's going on. So that's nice. You have access to everything like that. All of our hands, we have a team that we work with, and the guys go out and they literally do handpick the properties that they want, and they find distressed properties that they can get for good prices. They go in, they basically gut the whole insides, and they get them all rent ready, so they're turnkey to put a new renter in there. Then they send them to us, and I go through them, and then if I like them, I pass them on to Scott, and so the Marshall Reddick team can go through them and see if they're appropriate for what we want for you investors. And then if they are, we get all the information and put these flyers together. The one you're looking at right now is actually in Cape Coral. It's the only one we have in Cape Coral. We don't get very many in Cape Coral because for the most part Cape Coral houses don't cash flow anymore. They tend to run a little bit higher in price because they're in the Cape, and it's just they're surrounded by, you know, obviously the Cape's surrounded by water. So this here is a great house. Some people have come back and, you know, asked about it being an older house. I don't know if any of you guys watch Property Brothers. It's one of our favorite shows. And it seems like every house that they're doing are, you know, they're older houses. They go in, they fix them all up, and they make them brand new. And these are great little houses. So don't be scared of the age on some of these. But this one here, for getting a house like this for under $100,000 is a great buy in Cape Coral. And if you notice, there's no HOA fees on any of the houses or duplexes that we present to you guys. And one of the big bonuses that the management company does offer the Marshall Reddick investors is if by the time that you close on your property it is not rented, they give you an instant $800 credit at closing that you can use towards your closing cost. Okay, this is when we just got this. These next few that you're going to see, literally we just got this past week, so I'm real excited about this. This is on 29th Street Southwest. You can see it's a great looking house, 1757 square feet, but, you know, just under 115,000. This one just got done with almost all of its renovations. They're putting the flooring in, finishing that up this week. And so that'll all be done. There's additional pictures that you guys can go through, I believe, on the Marshall Reddick website to see the insides of these too.
Yeah, all the properties that are offered that we have here in Lehigh, if you go onto the Marshall Reddick website, you can scroll through all of them. Just for slide purposes, we couldn't put all the photos on there. But there are a lot more to in-depth shots that you guys can see of the inside of these properties.
And there's also, I have access to more pictures also too, because you can't fit everything, you know, obviously on a flyer. We've got a couple duplexes. These are beautiful duplexes. A lot of people tend to love the duplexes because they cash flow, you know, obviously very high. Most of them rent out for about $1,400 a month, you know, combination of both sides. Once again, no HOA fees in any of these. This one here, for Hightower, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I believe it cash flows. It's over $300 a month that it cash flows. You know, and this one, I believe it's got like a little canal in the back of it also, which you can't really see obviously in the picture. And it was just got done being renovated also. This is the other one. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but it's got a very large den in it, which is really nice. And it literally just got renovated also. They just finished with it this week. Here's what I was talking about just a second ago, $800 back closing if the property is not rented, you know, by the time you close on it. So that's a great incentive. So far, I think one person may have got it. That's about it, because usually they're rented. This is Ruth. Ruth is our preferred lender, and she's actually out of Tampa. And I know a lot of people like to use their own financing people out of California, but it doesn't work in Florida because the laws are so different for financing. And I don't know any of the California lenders that are licensed in the state of Florida. So I know there's some of you that out there that will decide you're going to purchase something and you'll still want to use your own lenders, but I'm just telling you 99.999% of the time it doesn't work, and a lot of time gets wasted, and you end up going full circle and coming back to Ruth anyways. She has been working with Marshall Reddick for a long time too, and she's fabulous, and she's quick. And she's a great communicator also. So if you're interested, I would highly suggest that she be your first phone call. All of our properties are first come, first served. So if there's any of the properties that you see that we have shown you guys tonight, or any of the other ones that are listed on the Marshall Reddick website, because we didn't show all of them tonight, you just need to let us know. You can let David know. You can call myself, and it's just saying, this is the one I want. There's no bidding wars. It's just whoever wants it gets it. You do need to get qualified, so we know that you're pre-qualified. But if you found something tonight you wanted, you say, hey, David, I want this one, then he would call me and say, hey, put this on hold for a day. We're going to get him qualified with Roof tomorrow. And we just take it from there. So real simple. And we're back to David. Isn't he handsome?
Thanks, Terry. I appreciate it. Fantastic presentation, guys, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. We have a few questions here that I got that I wanted to bring up that I think everyone should hear, and I think these are fantastic questions. And so one of the great questions that I had, and that gets brought up when I like to talk about the Florida market. Many people always talk about the natural disasters there, such as the hurricanes. I wanted to have you guys go into a little bit more detail about the building of the homes out there and how they're weatherproofed out there.
Okay, let me. I'm going to advance back, David, a few slides if everybody doesn't mind. We'll go back to one of the houses. This is a duplex. All the homes that they built in Florida, they're not your typical builds that you would find, say, in the Midwest or, in California. The houses out here in Florida, they're all built of what they call CMU, or construction masonry block. So your walls that support the roof and truss system are concrete block. So, two things with that. You've got incredible strength and building construction built to withstand Florida codes, and they're basically saying 150-mile-an-hour winds that these houses are rated to handle. All the houses that you see, they all come with hurricane shutters. Terry and I have lived here since 2000. We've only had to use our shutters once, and it really wasn't necessary because we've got to remember we live on the West Coast, and when the hurricanes come in, they come straight across the Caribbean corridor, and they usually hit the East Coast of Florida or Miami, or sometimes, we watch them, they all veer off and go northeast. But getting back to the building of the homes, they're all concrete block. Builders have to follow strict building codes the way that they build them. You don't have to worry about termite damage in these houses because they're concrete block. The only thing that is wood on the houses is the roof truss systems. So just, looking at some of the homes, the way that they build them, they're all designed, all the garage doors, they're hurricane rated for 150 miles an hour. So when you see the interior of these garage doors, they have these huge aluminum support beams that go across them. You're not going to find a house in Florida that isn't built that way. Most of the ones now, they have hurricane rated windows in them. The roof systems are all tied down with these what they call hurricane straps. So if you would ever get up in the attic and look at your typical beams and wood trusses and stuff, they're just a massive amount of metal straps that actually hold the roof system onto the house. And that really started way back in the 80s when Hurricane Andrew came across the state and devastated Homestead, Florida. If anybody remembered when that happened, they literally said, hey, we got to rethink the way we build houses down here because it just devastated the Miami Homestead area. So that's when it started, and then in the year 2000, that's when they come up with the minimum hurricane-rated structures of 150-mile-an-hour winds. So
the insurance prices, the quotes that you see on these flyers also, that includes hurricane insurance. It's mandatory in the state of Florida, so it's not something that you have to purchase extra.
Right.
And there are some areas that are considered flood zones, and if you have a house in the flood zone, then you get flood insurance, but that's through FEMA. But Lehigh Acres is not in a flood zone.
Yeah. So
Cape Coral would be considered.
We haven't had any hurricane activity. We're in the peak of our season right now, and there's a lot of activities. There seems to be more off the coast of California now and down in the Baja Peninsula. So it's hit or miss. Everybody's got their weather-related issues, but we've been living down here for a while, and the last time we had a major hurricane impact the area was in, I believe, 2005. That was Hurricane Charlie, and that hit about an hour north of us in a town called Port Charlotte. So, and you went up there, and a lot of the structures suffered, but a lot of the codes really saved some of the homes. So. And
prior to that, the last hurricane that came through Naples was in 1960.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, a lot of people, I know, even myself in general, my mother, me being from New York, it's kind of like the same thing out here where everyone from the East Coast constantly thinks that California is either on fire or that we're going through earthquakes.
Right. Well, California was falling off the United States for the past 20 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just questions like that, and it's really good to answer them, and you guys did a fantastic job of going through that and answering for us. But one other question that we had with one of our guys on here, Stan, he had a quick question for you guys, and wanted to see if you guys can go back to the slide on the population in Lee County for this year.
Yep. Which one was that? This one here?
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, you just had a quick question on what was the population in Lee County in 2000?
In 2000, well,
180% less.
Yeah, well, this number that we have here, the 86,000, that just talks for the shaded area that you see, which is Lehigh Acres. I could probably find out that answer. Back in 2000, we were here in 2000. I would say probably, it was still right in that high, in that high 400,000 or 500,000. Lee County is it's a huge county. You've got all these surrounding areas like, San Carlos Park, Fort Myers Beach, Buckingham, all that, Tice, Diplomat, Cape Coral. I don't know the exact population of Lee County back in 2000, but
we could probably find it.
We can dig that up, no problem.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks very much, guys. We definitely appreciate it. Just wanted to let everyone know who's on the webinar tonight that you guys will get an email tomorrow of this recorded webinar, so you guys can go through it again, listen to it again, touch base on anything that you might have missed, and you can see the PowerPoint for you guys to go over. And I'll be here at the office tonight for a little bit longer, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to call me on my direct line here, and I'll go through, answer any questions with you, and if you guys want to get some more information on a property, definitely let me know, and we'll get that info to you, and we'll get you guys connected with our team there.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for spending the night with us. I know it's pretty late there in Lee County, so we'll let you guys go, but we appreciate everything, and we look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.